I had been painting already for 3 or 4 years, working in watercolor and pastels, and was quite happy with the color palettes I was working in. But I was frustrated because I had learned through initial workshops to trace photographs in order to draw something. And so I felt really comfortable with the medium of watercolor and pastel, but was very frustrated that I couldn't draw, and I wanted to draw. One of the most important things that I got out of the class was that I learned to see. I didn't just learn to draw, I learned to see. And I think when I came here, I couldn't see. I couldn't see the structure underneath. I couldn't see the structure. I didn't know the skeletal structure, the muscular structure, all of the turning of the body, and Susan taught me all that. When I finally went on to paint in my own studio, I had all that knowledge, and it was so rich, and I could finally see. I couldn't just draw, I could see.
As a middle school art teacher, you learn how to do a lot of things, but you do not become expert in very much. The class for me was challenging in that I had to unlearn the basics in order to learn classical drawing. It took a while, but with Susan's gentle persuasion, I learned to model and look at the figure as a whole, and immediately I got better. Other art classes had models that were hired for a session, but with this class, the model stays for between 4 to 6 weeks, and we get a chance to really do a pose from beginning to end. In taking this class, I was able to fulfill my heart's desire, which was to be able not just to draw life in the classical way, but to be able to draw the people I love. This is my husband, and I, for the first time in my life, am able to do a drawing of a person I love and capture what I feel he looks like.
One of the last projects I did in the class was a master copy, and this is a painting, is a copy of a painting by Bouguereau. I wanted to do it. When I first looked at it, I thought, ooh, that looks like a challenge. And I learned so much in the process of doing this painting. But just getting the shapes and the figures accurately, that was the most challenging, and I just feel really good about the hard work that went into it. One of the most important things that I got out of this class was that it was a place and a space that allowed me to really delve in and take risks and not be afraid to do that, and to just keep pushing myself. And Susan helped with that because she kept pushing me, yet she still made it safe and comfortable to keep taking those risks.
As it started shaping up as to what I was going to be taught, it just became this amazing experience, because I was going to be taught from the ground up basically everything the teacher knew, kind of like they do in the Renaissance, and that's why they call the type of class an atelier, because that's when a student goes to learn from the master, and the master teaches everything they know to the student. As far as having other people in the class, we have a break every so often where we're able to step away from our work and go around and look at everybody else's, and that has definitely been helpful and inspiring. It gives me self-confidence that I'm capable of more than I thought I was.
I had an epiphany, and I said one day, I think I need to take a class in life drawing. I guess the most important thing that I've learned and I'm working on is actually seeing. I'm constantly being told that that's not the way it looks, and so I'll look a little closer, and sure enough, or just with a couple of strokes, Susan will show me how it actually is supposed to look.
I had no prior art experience at all. Found Susan. She had an atelier that would teach me the fundamentals of art, the fundamentals of drawing, the fundamentals of painting. I had felt I sometimes couldn't break through. Then with Susan's help, then we're able to overcome the challenge of it all and move forward. And so step by step by step, I grew from virtually nothing to being able to do something that sort of looks like art.
I wanted this class to be specifically targeted for older adults and the particular problems and challenges they face when they're learning this kind of work. The morning section is a life drawing class, and here the student has an opportunity over a 6-week period to draw the same pose and to work with anatomy, understanding the structure of the skull, for instance. So we have a lot of learning props here and that are designed to help the student. The afternoon section is generally devoted toward still life setups, plaster cast, learning to see, which is extremely important because we think we're looking, we think we're seeing, but when we try to translate that into a two-dimensional drawing, there are a lot of difficulties involved, especially when you're working from life. The camera sees with only one eye and we see with two. So with binocular vision, there's little or no distortion, whereas you have that much more so with the camera. Many students do go on to study landscape as well, and when that happens, then they start working from photos. Students are not required to take both the morning and the afternoon section, but it's not required. Students can elect to take either the morning section or just the afternoon section, or both sections. The class is a great opportunity for students to learn from each other and to help one another, and I find that is the best part of the program. When I was in Atelier, I learned a lot from my fellow students. I want that same environment in my class, and my students have found that with each other, that they have a great deal of encouragement and they learn from one another, and I think that's important. As a class, we do demonstrations in the class. We do field trips. We've taken 2 or 3 field trips already to the museums when there's special shows going on. We have lectures, and sometimes we go outside the studio to visit and see lectures being held in other studios around the peninsula. I love teaching, but I especially love being able to pass on my knowledge and experience in a way that provides both an intensive yet relaxed learning environment for my students. I want them to be able to take the tools they gain here and build their own vision, whatever that might be. There's simply no other place here on the peninsula where they can do that.